with interpretation of chemical equations. Generally, I found that many of the students outside, when I ask them after the completion of their exam, final exam, 10th class students, used to say that, sir, I haven't attempted this question from interpretation of chemical equations. So, what is the problem? They are all afraid of those problems. They are not even touching it. They are not daring to attempt it. The reason is that immediately after they are unable to find out, they are unable to break the question properly, and they don't have a proper trick. They don't have an easy trick to solve it. So that's why they are fearing of that, and they are not attempting. So what I want to say is that in interpretation of chemical equations, it's not necessary to worry. Okay, so let's solve a question in an easy way, right? So for example, you take the question. It is given as one of the equation: calcium carbonate plus HCl gives rise to plus carbon gas. So it's a gas of a solid calcium carbonate. Okay, so the question will be asked like this. So calculate the okay, and number of molecules of CO2 formed. Calcium carbonate gas with 1.3 of HCl. Not only this question, whatever the question, interpretation of chemical equations. Generally, students are used to fear, and they will simply lift their hands and leave that question and coming to the home. Okay, if it is given for 4 marks or 6 marks, okay, so they will lose 4 or 6 marks. If it is a part B objective question, there also they will lose the marks. So if this question is given for part B, so how to solve it? Because it is for 4 to 6 marks, it is having a lengthy procedure, and that answer will be adequate to the 4 or 6 marks. But if this question is given in part B, so if they go on solving a lengthy procedure, in a lengthy procedure, they will lose the time and they will be left, okay, not attempting many of the questions which they can answer. So what we are doing? See here, to solve this question, we need to know atomic numbers and atomic weights of each and every element which are given in this equation. Before going to solve the question, okay, first we have to check whether the equation is balanced equation or is it skeleton equation. Let me check. Calciums, number of calciums, it is 1. And this side, product side also it is 1. And carbon, here it is 1. So here also carbon 1. So balance. Now oxygen 3. Okay, here the number of oxygens 2 plus 1, 3. Oxygens also balanced. Now number of hydrogens 1. But here hydrogens are 2. Two as a question before the hydrochloric acid. Now you look at the chlorines. 2 into 1. 2 chlorines. Chlorines also 2. Okay, now this equation is balanced equation. Now we have to go for the calculation. So how? See, whenever we look at the question, identifying the keywords is very important. Calculate the mass. So we need mass, volume, and number of molecules of what? Carbon dioxide formed in product side. Okay, when 50 grams of calcium carbonate, 50 grams of calcium carbonate is reacting with what? Say 1.3 grams of hydrochloric acid solution. Here, so what to do for this? Here, every one of you please see here. We by looking at the question, we need to take the amounts of what calcium carbonate, HCl, and carbon dioxide into calculation. Okay, so let us take calcium carbonate and it is hydrochloric acid. Okay, what I have to do now in balanced chemical equation, what is the molecular weight of this compound? See here, if you take calcium atomic weight is 40 and carbon is 12, one oxygen is 16, 16 3 is 48. So it becomes 100 grams. It becomes 100 grams. So when we take 100 grams of calcium carbonate, okay, in this balanced chemical equation. So how much amount of HCl we are taking? So 1 HCl 1 gram plus this is 35.5 grams. So 35.5 plus 1 36.5 into 2, it means it becomes 73 grams. Okay, so when we take from the balanced chemical equation, we can understand that when we take 100 grams of calcium carbonate to react with 73 grams of hydrochloric acid, how much mass of carbon dioxide we are getting? Carbon 12 grams plus 1 oxygen 16, 16 to this 32, so it is 32 grams. It becomes 44 grams. 44 grams of carbon dioxide is forming. What is this? From this balanced chemical equation, so okay, we are getting that if we take this much calcium carbonate and this much hydrochloric acid, we can get 44 grams of carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is the mass. Remember, this reaction is taking place at STP, standard temperature and pressure. So at STP, if you take mass, 44 grams of carbon dioxide is forming. If you take its volume is any gas at standard temperature and pressure condition occupies 22.4 liters of volume, and this will be equal to, right, 1 mole. So 1 mole gas or 1 mole matter contains 6.023 into 10 power 23 number of molecules. Number of molecules, right? So this is. So now, yeah, when you take 100 grams of calcium carbonate to react with 73 grams of hydrochloric acid, 44 grams mass of carbon dioxide can be formed, 22.4 liters volume, okay, of carbon dioxide is formed, 1 mole of carbon dioxide is formed, of 6 point in this, okay, 22.4 liter or 44 grams of carbon dioxide, 1 mole of carbon dioxide. This can contain 6.023 number of molecules. Which molecules? Carbon dioxide molecules. Okay, so this is what the information we have from the balanced chemical equation. Now I want to calculate if instead of taking 100 grams, if I take 50 grams of calcium carbonate and 7.3 grams of HCl, then what will be the number of? Okay, now again new values. So mass, okay, volume, how much, right? How many moles? How many number of molecules? So I need 4 answers. If I take this, instead of taking 100, if I take 50 grams, instead of taking 73, if I take 7.3, so how much mass, how much volume, how many moles, how many number of molecules of carbon dioxide will be formed? That's what the question. Now here is a catch. We have to identify that properly. Here calcium carbonate was 100 in the original reaction, which you know from balanced chemical equation, but it became 50, means half. You can write 50 as 100 by 2 also. So the amount of reactant calcium carbonate made, this also made half. Okay, instead of taking 7.3, if they take 36.5 grams, okay, this also made half. Then each and every quantity 44 becomes 22 and 22 becomes 6 half, and this is 0.5 mole and 1 by 2 of this number of molecules can be happen. But what happened to HCl? It became 70, it was 73, but it became 7.3. Means if I remove this decimal, yes, 73 by 10. Means the HCl quantity has reduced by 10 times. It has taken by a factor of 1 by 10. So we should not take the amount of calcium carbonate into consideration. We don't want this. We want only these quantities. Now when this become 1 by 10, now whatever the amount of product formed depends on this quantity which is taken in less quantity. Okay, so the compound here HCl is taken in less quantity to control the amount of carbon dioxide formed. So such chemical, such product or such a compound is called as limiting reagent. So this is a limiting. Okay. Now what I have to do is that if I catch this instead of okay, instead of if I immediately after knowing this right molecular weight of calcium carbonate and molecular weight of hydrochloric acid, if I observe properly, how many times each compound in the reactants is increasing or reducing. If you find out that factor, okay, if both are reducing by same factor or both are increasing by same factor, by that same factor product also will be increased or decreased. So if you find out that, so immediately after looking at the question we can know the answer. Okay, right? So if this question is given part B, so you need to do this. Where is the breaking point? Where is the breaking point? We have to find out that. So if you find out that, the answer is very easy. So now what happens? Each right, carbon dioxide mass becomes 1 by 10 means 4.4 grams. Okay, this is also 1 by 10 means 2.24. This point will be shifted here, 2.24 liters. If I do 1 by 10, 1 by 10 mole means 0.1 mole. This equals to 0.1 mole. And by 10, if I do here, by 10 means here 10 and here 110 cancels. So it becomes 6.023 into 10 power 22 CO2 molecules. Okay, right? It's a very easy question. But only one thing is that you should know 1 to 30 elements atomic numbers and the atomic weights. Okay, you should balance the equation and by what factor this reactant either increasing or decreasing. If both are increasing by same amount, so by the same amount product also increases. If out of 2 or 3 reactants, if one is taken in very less quantity, so on that quantity only the amount of product formed depends. So by that factor only product also decreases or right whatever. Okay, I told that. So we can take a lengthy procedure also. So what is that? So which is suited? So this if I write like this, it may or may not be suited adequate to get 4 marks or 6 marks. So what to do? See, I want to calculate mass, for example. I'll get the same answer. Let's see here. I'll just do the cross multiplication of these two. So if I take 100 grams, I'll just take here new table HCl and CO2. Okay, sorry, not this here. Right, HCl and CO2. If I take 73 grams, I can get CO2. We are knowing that. If I take 73 by 10, how much mass of carbon dioxide I can come? Let it be X. So do the cross multiplication. You can get that 73 equal to 44 into 73 by 10. So it becomes X equal to 44 into 73 by 10. This becomes to the denominator 73. So what happened? 73 cancelled. So 44 by 10 equal to 4.4 grams. See here, if I write this data like this and if I do this calculation, so this for mass, same procedure goes for volume, same procedure goes for number of moles, number of molecules. So easily you can get 6 marks or 4 marks. All right. So what I'm saying is that instead of going in a routine way, okay, understand the question properly, break it logically, and follow and solve it in a tricky manner. So that saves a lot of your time, energy, and money, and you will get good marks. Okay, so I'm a physics teacher from Jarani English Medium High School. So if you want to learn the physics subject, okay, properly, right? If you want to enjoy the physics subject, please join Jarani High School from Jannaram, which is opposite to the petrol bunk at the Mandapelli, opposite to petrol bunk. Right there it is. At a new building, you can join there. Thank you.